Every year, the Rabbi of Nemirov was a little bit late to Yom Kippur services. And every year, the townspeople would wonder why he was late. Maybe the rabbi goes to visit the sick before services, some would say. Maybe he prays for all of us before coming here to be with us, the others suggested. Still, other congregants thought, no, maybe he just does something we don't know about. And there's always the one congregant that just figured he overslept. But there were two very curious children in the congregation. How many kids do I have here that are curious and like to know the answers to things? So these two children decided they were going to find out where the rabbi went every year. So the night before Yom Kippur, they snuck into the rabbi's house and hid in his closet. All night, they stayed silent so nobody knew they were there. The next morning, when the rabbi got up, it was still dark outside, and he got dressed. But he got dressed in some very unusual clothes. He put on heavy work boots and overalls and a thick wool jacket and a hat. And once he was dressed, he took some rope and an axe and left the house. The children were very curious, but they followed along to see where he went dressed in such an unusual manner. To their surprise, he walked into the forest, he took the rope, put it on the ground, and chopped a tree to the ground. Once the tree had fallen, the rabbi used the axe to cut the trunk up into smaller pieces, and he used the rope to bundle it together. And then he lifted it over his shoulder and continued on his journey. He left the forest, and the children followed along still unseen. The rabbi walked a distance and came to a very small cottage. The children were silent as the rabbi knocked on the door. They heard a faint voice coming from inside. "Who's there?" Sounded like an elderly person. "It's me, Vassal, the wood chopper," the rabbi replied. "I have wood for you. It is cold today, and you need your fire." "Please go away. I don't have money for the wood," the woman replied. The children looked on as the rabbi opened the door and said, "Don't worry about the money. It's cold. You need a fire." He went to the stove, he placed the wood in it, and he lit the fire. "Now you will be warm on this very cold day." Without another word, he left the cottage, and the same thing happened as he went to a few more cottages of people who he knew couldn't afford the wood. He then quickly ran home, changed into his synagogue clothes, and made his way to the shul for Yom Kippur services. Once again, the congregants were trying to understand why the rabbi was always late. Where does he go before services? The children listened with keen interest. "Maybe the rabbi goes to the hospital to visit the sick," one congregant said. Maybe the rabbi takes an extra time getting all washed up and ready for services," guessed another. And finally, a congregant said, "Maybe the rabbi goes up to heaven before coming to pray with us." And the children listened and responded, "No, the rabbi does not go to heaven. He goes even higher." The story teaches us that how we treat people is sometimes even more important than what we pray. If the rabbi had only prayed for these people to have wood in their stoves and fire in their homes, nothing would have happened. But when he turned the words of his prayer into deeds from his heart, we saw change in the world. Judaism reminds us that we need to do more than just pray. We need to turn our prayers into actions that care for one another, that welcome one another, and that remind us that we are all in this world together. Yom Kippur is about saying we're sorry, but it's not only for the things we've done wrong this year, but for all the times we could have done something good or better, but didn't. How often could we have helped someone, but we were too lazy or too busy? When did we have a chance to say a kind word or offer a hug to someone, but we just didn't feel like it? Yom Kippur reminds us that we must not only not do the bad things, but that we are commanded to be the best people we can and to make this world better. The Rabbi of Nemirov teaches us that while prayer is important, it is never enough. As God's partners, we must take actions to help create the world that we want to live in. Gemar Chatima Tova, may our actions help seal us in the book of life for a good year and a year of meaning.